Why deep healing is not easy and how to start changing that. Welcome back to another episode of Rapids of Conscious Reprogramming. Here, Tommy Walker, the mind engineer, and sharing this into this new community that we're moving into. I hope you're part. If you want to be a part of these lives, if you want to join and learn more about how the mind works and how to start making changes, type here community and we'll send you the information so that you can sign and be a part of this amazing community that we are just migrating from one place to another, but new and amazing things are going to start happening very soon. So, hey, Romana, how are you? Thank you for stopping by as usual. So let's talk about healing and why so many people find it very difficult to do. So let me change here a second the screen. Here we go. Perfect, so you can see me. Hey, Suzanne, thank you for stopping by too. So why is deep healing difficult, right? Let's talk about that topic today. So we need to understand that healing is very similar to, the work that we're doing through healing is very similar to going to the gym. So for most people, not everyone, but for most people, it's difficult to go to the gym to create that consistency, to, have all those muscle aching at the end of the exercise, although some people like it and others love it. Most people struggle. So when we're doing the mind work, when we are healing, we need to understand that the healing means that there's parts of us that are in pain. And connecting with those parts of us that are in pain, that is the difficult part. Why? Because the centers in the mind, many of them that can perceive the physical pain, can also perceive the emotional or mental pain. What does that mean? That if I tell you to grab a hammer and hit your finger, right? For sure, I'm going to get an answer saying like, oh, Tommy, I don't want to do that. Okay, now think about doing that, but in the mind, like facing pain that something of maybe you might have gone through 2 weeks ago, 5 months ago, years ago, even in childhood. We need to understand, and this is proven by science. I have several books behind me over here, Gabor Mate and Van der Kolk, that talk about this, and many other people. We have Lipton and many others that talk that the past is not gone, as some people out there talk about. The past is still running in the mind as if it were happening here and now. I know it sounds weird. What does that mean? So for the mind, there's no time. So if I close my mind right now and I start imagining or even remembering something from the past that happened, if it was nice, I can start feeling happiness. I can start feeling joy. And if it was sad, I can start feeling that right now. So for the mind, it's like just changing the channels. 2024, December 9th, and then I move over to another TV and I start seeing that TV as if it were happening now. So the mind is constantly looking at past memories, and from there is trying to protect you from a potential future. So look at this. If when you were a kid, and this happened to me, I was bullied a lot as a kid at home. I was kind of bullied each time I opened my mouth. Whatever I said was against what my parents believed in. So they would kind of tell me that I was wrong, that, what I was saying was wrong and things like that. And at school, I was made fun of. I started learning that if I spoke up, there were going to be bad consequences. So what I started learning is to shut up and keep the things inside of me. And that was really painful. So although it was the solution to create that behavior to protect myself, it was still painful to shut it up. So the pain of being judged and criticized was higher than the pain of keeping it inside of me. But it was still painful. So for the mind, it made total sense to keep it inside. But as I started this journey 15 years ago, I started learning that I can start tapping into that pain, making space for that here and now, right? And deal with it correctly. So I was able to release it so I wouldn't keep carrying it around. Imagine carrying a backpack full of rocks, and each rock is 5 kilos, 2-3 pounds, right? And you have many stones, rocks in the backpack. Wouldn't that slow you down? Wouldn't that make it more difficult in life type it in the chat here if you think it's a very basic, stupid question, I know, but just to interact a little bit with you guys, right? Do you think that your life is going to be more difficult or easier as you carry around those X amount of pounds, right? Hundreds of pounds, hundreds of kilos in your life? What do you think? Would that make it easy to be able to change lanes, to make decisions, to move faster in life and wherever you want to go? The truth is, I know the answer is going to be no. It's going to be very difficult to be able to start making changes. Hey, Chris, thank you for being here too. So exactly, Romana, Suzanne, Chris, the truth is, it's going to make it very difficult to be able to change directions. Hey, Mike, thank you. Daily struggles. Exactly. It's going to make it very difficult to be able to move forward in your life, to be able to change things. So the first thing we need to do is to grab one of those stones, one of those things, and start learning from it. Why is it there? Why is procrastination in place? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling guilty? Why am I feeling shame? Maybe nothing is happening today, and I have worked with a lot of people that tell me, but Tommy, nothing is happening today. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's not happening today, because it could have happened a month ago. It could have happened a year ago, and the mind might be reliving that memory as if it were happening now, and it's struggling. That is how it works. The mind is living in the past most of the times. So although I know Edgar Tolle teaches that, Dr. Dispenza teaches this to try to be more present. Yes, that's awesome, but it's very difficult for the mind to be present if there is pain. Because if there is pain from the past, the mind is trying to protect you from falling into that pain again. So if I was bullied, and if there is pain because I was bullied, the mind is going to say, wait, Tommy, how can I protect you from being bullied again? Maybe be quiet. Don't speak up. Don't ask for a raise at work. Don't set out boundaries. Become a people pleaser to try to protect you. So when we start understanding how the mind works, it's going to make it easier to start making changes. And I don't speak about changes overnight. That is not true, because if you go to the gym, you don't see overnight changes. It might take a couple of months to really start seeing serious changes in your body. The mind is very similar in that way. First of all, it hurts facing the pain, healing, because the mind is tapping into the pain from the past. Like, again, putting your hand over a stove, hitting your finger with a hammer. It is painful. But if we start training the mind to understand that by facing that pain and releasing it, we can grow, because there's a lot of wisdom behind the negatives. There's a lot of wisdom behind the pain that we can use to boost our life to the next level. So instead of fighting with repressing the pain, neglecting the negatives, not facing the negatives, I invite you to start facing them, understanding them. Why are they there? Why am I procrastinating? Oh, I need to stop this. And people start beating themselves up. That ain't gonna work. Procrastination is a protective mechanism. I always say this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Perfectionism is a protective mechanism. It's the solution to a deeper problem. So binge eating, procrastination, perfectionism, people pleasing, not setting boundaries, letting people take advantage of you. Whatever you're struggling with, instead of beating yourself up because of that behavior, start understanding that that behavior is protecting you from something deeper, is the solution to a deeper problem. Yeah, Romana, that's what a lot of people out there have been taught, and it makes total sense. We have been taught not to face our negatives because, of course, again, if it's painful, so it's the same way Romana is saying, oh, if you go to the gym and it's painful, don't go to the gym anymore. Would that be healthy for you? Going to the gym is or exercising at home or running, it is painful for the muscles. So could you say that that is wrong and stop doing it? It's the same thing. Yes, it can be scary. Thank you, Suzanne. It can be scary. But as we start, and this is what I want to share today again, right? How to start making changes so that it's, easier to face this deep pain and start doing with, healing. What I recommend here, Suzanne, is to bring in love, loving yourself, accepting that it's scary, accepting that it's painful, accepting that there are parts of you that want to walk away from this exercise of facing the pain. It's okay. The other day, I still have to post a picture. I went to these, hanging games that are in the trees, that there are pulleys and different exercises you do, in the air. And one of my kids got stuck in one of the levels and he was really scared. And I told him that it was okay to be scared. And eventually, one of the guys that was, taking care of the security safety in that place went up and brought my kid down. So we got to the place. He said he wanted to do level two instead of level one. He had done level two some years ago, but he said, let's go to level two. He had done it before, so I was okay with that. When he got to the first, you know, I don't know how you call it, but when you throw yourself through a rope with a pulley, so he was swinging in the trees, right? When we got there, he got stuck, froze, and he couldn't jump. I went first, to expect to as soon as he got there, grab him and not let him go backwards and things like that, like to just encourage him to be there with me. He got stuck in one of the platforms and he couldn't go further. So I told him it was okay to embrace the fear, that no worries, it was okay. So one of the guys went over, brought him down to the ground. I met him there again. I finished the game. I went back down. I told him, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go to the level one. Let's start there again and see if I can get used to it again and then go to level two. So we did level one. He nailed it. He went into level two. He went really fast the first part. He got to the part of the, throw himself. I helped him a little bit and boom, he was able to go. So he was scared, but he faced the fear because he felt the love from me and I was sharing that with him. I made him feel loved through the fear. The problem is that normally when we're scared, we repress the fear. We tell ourselves that it's wrong to feel scared. Maybe it's consciously, maybe it's subconsciously. But when we were kids and we felt scared, what was the first thing that your parents told you when you felt sad or scared? Come on, type it in the chat. And I know the answer. I've been studying this for 15 years and I've worked with thousands of people. What were we told by our parents when we were scared? Thank you, Suzanne. And more coming in. Don't be scared. Exactly. So we were taught, we were programmed to think that feeling scared is wrong. So we tend to repress it. Repressing it is not dealing with it, is not the best option. So I taught my kid how to embrace it, how to love himself. And that allowed him to go through the fear and he was able to overcome it. And each time I went through, because it was a birthday party and there were many kids from I went with both my kids, my eldest and my youngest. My youngest got stuck in a platform. My eldest was able to do all the levels for the first time. But in between, I kept on finding kids from his school, from my eldest kid's school, that were stuck in different areas or were like, oh, I'm so scared. And I would tell them, hey, it's okay to be scared. What we're trying to do is to face the fear, but hugging it. I would tell them, hug the fear, embrace it. It's okay to feel scared. And as much as I could, I try to help these kids that were stuck along the games, right? Because they were scared. And I was telling them that it was okay. It was the opposite of what we were most trained to think. Don't be scared. Don't be anxious. Don't be nervous. Don't. The negatives were denied. So again, Romana, going back to your boyfriend, he was trained to deny the negatives because it feels safe. But why? Because as there's a lack of love, we cannot face the fear, right? So we need to face the fear with love. If people are scared of facing whatever negatives, whatever challenge in life, what they're telling me is that there is a lack of love. So what I do is to help them connect with that love and bring it to every part of them. As they bring it to every part of them, they're able to face their challenges much easier. So the idea is how to start doing the deep healing by first accepting that it's okay, whatever negative things that you're feeling. And second, bringing love. Love will dissolve any negative emotion or any behavior. true love, unconditional love, not that love that is, oh, I'm going to feel better when I feel, when I overcome this. I'm going to feel better when, or I'm going to blah. When you put a condition, that is conditional love. We need to practice more unconditional love. The idea I was thinking, I was talking to somebody, it's like, what is the one thing that I want to share with the world? Seriously, what came to me, and I've been doing it for a while, but the phrase that came to me is, I want to share unconditional love to the world. I want to help people tap into unconditional love, because unconditional love is going to break any barrier, is going to allow you to change any behavior, is going to help you overcome any challenge. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense, right? If you're enjoying this, if you're liking this, if you want more of this. Remember, I said at the beginning, I'm going to say it again. We are changing the community to a new platform. We're leaving Heartbeat. It's going to still be working, but all the updates are going to go to the new platform. If you're still part of Heartbeat, don't worry. But we've been sending out emails to join the free community, where we're going to share more and more insight and tools to start making changes in any area of your life, whether it is relationships, whether it is professionally, communications, whether it is that you're a bit people pleasing. Maybe you're falling into narcissistic traits, you're getting angry, you're finding yourself manipulating people. All of these things can be changed, right? And I'm sharing this in the community, in the different different programs, different things that I'm sharing, courses. I share a lot of free stuff to help people start making changes in their life and even in their business. So if you're interested, let us know. Type #community and we'll send you the information to sign up to this community that you're going to see. That is amazing what we're offering over there. If you're part of it, great. We've been transferring the Heartbeat people into this new community. If you didn't get any emails, maybe check your spam folder, because we're sending everything out there to build this community, to be able to feel supported, to feel heard, and to start feeling unconditional love, because that's what's going to change, I believe, ourselves and the world. John Lennon said it, all we need is love. I truly believe that he was right. And I used to hear a guy in the train when I was a kid that would say, only love is going to save the world. And I truly believe. Now, back then, it was funny to hear this guy saying that. It was nice, don't get me wrong, but it was funny, this guy in the train saying, only love is going to save this world. And I was like, I wouldn't understand it back then. I was a teenager. And now I look back and he was right. He was right. He was sharing this to the world in the trains, right? And it was like, whoa, this guy was right. Only love is going to change the world. And it's true, because it can dissolve behaviors. It can, change everything. So if you're interested, hey, Romana, thank you for sharing that. Yes, I'll send you the information in a little bit. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for supporting. More to come, getting ready for the end of the year and a new year starting, and amazing things are going to happen in 2025. And I want to share a lot with you guys. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.